What do I do every day in Animal Crossing? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask. When I started playing the game, I quickly realized there's a lot of different things to focus on. With all the collecting and tasks involved, I figured why not break it down together? What's happening? I'm Digit Mason, no, the other one, and today we'll be talking about all the little things I do on my island. I do want to keep it brief though, so let me know in comments if there's anything you want to see more of in a future video. So first things first, on normal days there's always a villager that's working on a recipe in their home. This could be one of the cooking recipes or just a regular DIY. So I need to find out who that is and then ask them what they're working on. The villager working on a recipe changes after 3 hours, and you can repeat this for up to 3 recipes per day. Hopefully it's a new recipe I haven't learned yet, but even if it isn't, I still get a chance to talk to them. It just better not be for pear bed, which I already know, Hamlet. On top of the 3 daily recipes I can get from my villagers, there's also a 4th one scattered somewhere along the beach. There's a ton of recipes in the game, so my hope here is to maximize the chance of learning a new one. Because there's a few recipes you can only get from balloons or events, over time you'll start to see a lot of duplicates. Like pear bed. Every day, the Nook Twins update the list of hot items, which are craftable by you and can be sold for double their normal price. To keep you on your toes, and as a constant reminder of the helplessness of life under unfeeling corporate structures, these are chosen randomly. It's quicker to check the sign out front, so I don't have to bother speaking to Timmy and or Tommy. Still hoping to one day see the pile of cash for sale. Big money. And I did! A feature I found handy recently is the luck mechanic, which can only be initiated by getting your fortune read by Katrina on Harv's Island. With a bad fortune, you can ask Katrina to purify you, and you'll receive an exclusive item in the mail the next day. But a good fortune is usually more valuable to me. Of the 4 options, friendship, health, money, and belongings, I prefer the last 2. Money luck basically guarantees you a gold nugget that day from hitting rocks, and belongings luck prevents all your tools from breaking that day, among other things. Who needs health and friends, am I right? There's usually 4 dig spots on your island where you can dig up fossils, but there's more that could be gyroids, if it rained the previous day, or rare mushrooms, if they're in season. I've already completed my fossil collection at Blather's Museum, so digging these up mostly serves to clean up my island and make more bells I don't need. There's also 1 shiny dig spot per day to find bells in, and if you bury a bag of bells after digging the hole, you get a money tree. This is yet another way I collect meaningless bells in the pursuit of fulfillment to placate a gnawing emptiness in my soul, and I prefer to do it in increments of 30,000 for a chance to double my investment each day. Whee! At this point in the game, I've done my fair share of talking to Isabelle and Tom Nook, but I still stop in at resident services every day to receive my allotment of bonus Nook miles from the Nook Stop. I can redeem said miles for items I'm still missing, check my balance of bells, or order from the catalog of Nook shopping. Those last 2 can be done from my ABDs or on my Nook phone. Cause who even goes to the bank these days? Up top! Variety is the spice of life. And in Animal Crossing, that means 13 herbs and spices for a delicious what am I even saying anymore. There's 9 possible visitors to your island on the average weekday, which I'll get into in a bit, and 2 occasional visitors during the evening, Celeste and Wisp. Celeste can offer you recipes or star fragments, and Wisp has furniture or other items to give away if you put Humpty back together again. The weekend usually hosts KK Slider with his guitar on Saturday evenings, more about him later, and Daisy May with her turnips on Sunday mornings. I'm glad that Daisy May feels welcome on my island when she's around, but unfortunately I've long cashed out my investments in her stock market, so her visits are only a painful reminder that I am in fact a member of society. As for the rest, CJ and Flick are my favorite visitors as I'm working on completing my model collections. It's a super fun aspect where I catch 3 of every fish and bug in the game, donate them to CJ and Flick, and the next day I receive a perfect scale model in the mail and put it in storage, never to look at it again. Gulliver and his doppelganger, Gullivar, are washed up rock stars that I only help on occasion in order to complete my collection of their rare items. Kix always has a good stock of shoes, socks, and bags to peruse, though he loses out to Sahara only because of her loyalty program. Plus, I can never pass up on wallpaper and flooring she calls mysterious. Label gives me an excuse to change clothes when she stops in, if only for a moment to pretend I won't go back to wearing the same thing I do for the rest of the year. Leaf is a pleasant fellow who is happy to take my weeds off my hands, though at this point I've completed my flower collection along with the small number of crops in the game, so I've outgrown the need for his services. See what I did there? As for fine art, I've completed the museum gallery by donating every possible painting and sculpture. So anytime he's around, I happily enter Red's Treasure Trawler, registered trademark, check if I need any of his furniture items, and then book it before he can get a single bell from me, the weasel. There's some extra goodies hidden in the trees on my island, and while I don't have an explanation for the double sofa and saxophone that sometimes fall out, there's nothing wrong with a few more unnecessary bells. By now I've managed to collect each variety of fruit tree, so out of respect for my island orchards and their families, I only shake their 17 non-fruit-bearing brethren. For a long time, out of concern for being stung by a wasp, I would carry a net while shaking each tree. But on the advice of a smarter YouTuber, I figured out which trees the wasps were hiding in and cleverly moved them to their own playpen, never to be disturbed again. In addition to shaking my trees for their lunch money, I also gently wrap them with a stone axe so I can collect 51 of their neatly piled bark, naturally in dark, milk, and white chocolate flavors. What? It's not like I use a steel axe. I'm not a monster. A hard-fought feature of my island is the rock garden just east of resident services. With the firm application of a shovel, I can find a bounty of gray things, dark gray things, and Play-Doh. Sometimes even a golden carrot if I'm lucky. Considering the amount of effort it took to get these rocks to line up this way in the first place, I make sure before entering to remove any superhuman strength I might have. With this toilet. And let's just cover that up with this bench. I've talked a lot about item collection by now, so it's as good a time as any to point out I use the AC Fan app to catalog what I have and still need. Which admittedly, I only figured out was a thing after using pen and paper a little bit too long. The local tailor shop run by Sonic and Knuckles here is my go-to for surprisingly all the clothing I could ask for, from lolcats and hot dogs to sports equipment and dirty Kleenex. I'm proud to say I've saved up all my tailor's tickets for free clothing and forgot about them until the point in the game where I've bought nearly everything and money is no object. But check out my cute little Etsy shop in the back. Each day wouldn't be complete without a visit with Tim Tam to see what they've decided can be sold at 70% markup. I'm pretty sure I've bought everything I need from their cabinet, so it's mainly about checking the other 5 Wait, 5? That's it? Considering how little island villagers donate to local building projects, I have no idea how these literal children keep the business afloat. As much as I enjoy island life and the lovely community I've cultivated, there's nothing quite like having a reformed frog pirate ferry you across time and space in his 2-passenger boat with nothing but ale in his thermos and a song in his heart. Sometimes he'll get lost and bring you to another season, but either way, this gives me a 5th chance to pick up a recipe I undoubtedly already know. Pear Bed Springs Eternal. Being the travel buff that I am, I have a standing daily flight to Harv's Island to take in the sights and sounds of his outdoor market. In addition to visiting Katrina, as previously mentioned, Sahara and Kix keep booths here and refresh their stock of flooring, interiors, and clothing each week. Part of rounding out my collection is customizing each furniture item in their variants, which Cyrus is happy to do when he and Reese aren't getting married for the 15th time. Leaf and Red are also here. A growing boy needs a plentiful array of toys, and here that comes in the form of a well-stocked shed with all the tools I'll need on the job. Having completed my donations at Blather's Museum, I don't do much fishing or catching bugs anymore, so the majority of my overstocked tools are shovels, axes, and that little party popper from last year. Go football! There's only a few major achievements I need to complete yet, including crafting and deep-sea diving, but as for the smaller plus achievements, I mostly just do what I'd already be doing. Running around bothering the plant life, amateur archaeology, late-stage capitalism, shooting the breeze, and pretending to exercise. With a full Critterpedia, every museum donation behind me, and 5,000 fish and bugs logged, one of the Nook Miles tasks I work on occasionally is swimming the ocean and diving for various creatures. Even this far from my island, you can't seem to escape the clutches of industry, though thankfully Pascal is more into the whole barter thing. Best part though, the water may be deep, but his quotes are deeper. And clearly stolen from Instagram. All those resources have to eventually be put to good use. And while I won't end up using the thousands of tools or furniture that I'll make to get the last few stamps on my Nook Miles card, thankfully I can stock up and craft these DIY recipes in bulk. Not like other games where you have to, button mash repeatedly. You know what they say, it isn't fun unless you have to do it 400 times. As a proud citizen of my island community, I'd be remiss if I didn't attend the weekly jam session in Town Square. Jack Russell here serves up the beats and even takes requests. I feel we should all support local music, and also I'm mandated by this Nook Miles achievement. Saturday nights will never be the same. Let me know in comments if you'd like more detail on my Animal Crossing process. I'd like to cover other stuff that I've learned about the game, and I'm hoping to do an island tour video at some point, so watch for that if you're curious. But hey, thanks for watching, and stay shiny.